I'm also curious with now COVID-19, what's happening from your perspective, as an investor, right, entrepreneur. Where do you see kind of the world is going, and where you see some of the potential opportunities that you say, wow, like those industries, it's where you're most interested.
Yeah. Well, I do think both as an entrepreneur and as a doctor, I do think things are going to go back to normal. So
Yes.
I think that, everybody, well, right now is talking about how things will never be the same. I think human nature is what it is. And
Yes.
once sufficient people are vaccinated, I think things will go back to normal. But I think we're going to be a lot more cognizant about supply chains going forward.
Expand on that. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
So, I mean, take food, for example, in the container farming, right? I think there's going to be a real advantage to locally produced, locally grown, easier to ship, not reliant on multiple supply chains. I think there's going to be a real sense that I want to get things that are closer to me, just in case anything like this ever happens again. Or I want to have a more secure supply chain than relying on overseas.
Yes. Yes.
And that's
more self-reliant country-wise.
Yeah, right. And I think that's a big play for us with the container farming, both for in Canada and for the states that border Canada, especially out west, to be providing them with food and vegetables and flowers that are locally grown and just have to be driven across the border.
Yes, and fresh.
It's fresh, right?
Yes.
I think it's going to be a big advantage. So I think supply chains is the big
supply chain. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other areas you would see?
Well, I think probably pharmaceutical industry is going to adjust to this, of course, and I think we're going to see more investments in Canada and other countries that are dependent again, and it goes to supply chain, for their own vaccinations. I mean, Canada used to manufacture a lot of vaccines 30, 40 years ago, and that kind of went by the wayside.
And now we're begging for some other countries to send us some vaccines, right?
Right. You see today in Ontario, something like a $400 million investment to convert one of the pharmaceutical plants to vaccination production.
That makes sense.
So I think a lot of things that are going to change are going to be tied back to that whole issue of supply chain.
One of the questions, and before we wrap this up, by the way, awesome share, really appreciate it. If you were to go back, let's say in the beginning of your entrepreneurial career, and you could have a conversation with your younger self, what would you say to a younger Sheldon?
Well, I would say never doubt yourself. I would tell myself that life is 95% luck and 5% effort. And as long as you give all 5% effort, you'll see 95% of the luck. If you don't give all 5% effort, you'll never see any of the luck. Wow. So I think working hard, telling myself just to work hard and stay true to my values and keep my eye on the horizon. And it took me a while to learn that. And
it's almost like doing your best but not getting attached.
Right.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And for my viewers who are entrepreneurs, if they want to get in touch with you, they want to connect, what's the best way to do that? Is it through LinkedIn, or they want to check out on the projects that you have?
Yeah, LinkedIn or my email. It's SLLEVY@FCT, FrankCharlieTomHoldings.com. That's probably the best way to get a hold of me. I don't have a big social media presence, but I'm happy to talk to anybody and happy to look at deals anytime.
Awesome. Sheldon, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate it. I knew it's going to be a good conversation. I'm taking the 3 C's, the 3 P's. I'm taking notes. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks.